Hey there, friends. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your body just isn't keeping up the way it used to? Maybe you're tired even after a good night's sleep, or your muscles feel weaker than they did a few years ago. And no matter how hard you try, that afternoon slump always seems to hit like a freight train. Sound familiar? Well, here's the thing, you're not alone. In fact, after 65, a staggering 80% of seniors are missing out on one critical nutrient that's quietly working behind the scenes to keep your energy strong, your bones healthy, and your mood steady. And today we're going to talk about exactly what that nutrient is, and how you can start fixing the gap today with 5 simple, delicious foods you might already have in your kitchen. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another nutrient lecture? Really? But stick with me. This isn't about complicated diets or choking down supplements. This is about real food, real flavor, and real results. Because here's the truth. When your body lacks this nutrient, it's like trying to drive a car with no gas. You might still move, but you'll sputter, stall, and never get where you want to go. So let's name the problem. The nutrient we're talking about is vitamin D. Yes, the sunshine vitamin. Now, I know you've heard of it, but did you know that as we age, our bodies struggle to produce it even if we're soaking up the sun? And without enough vitamin D, everything from your immune system to your mood can take a hit. Scary, right? But don't worry, we're not here to dwell on the problem. Let's jump into the solution. Over the next few minutes, I'll share the first 2 powerhouse foods that can help you boost your vitamin D levels naturally, without breaking the bank or your routine. And trust me, these aren't just healthy foods, they're delicious. First up, fatty fish. Now, I'm not talking about some fancy, hard-to-find seafood. Think salmon, mackerel, or even a can of sardines. These little gems are packed with vitamin D, and they're also rich in omega-3s, which are like a double win for your heart and brain. Let me give you an example. My neighbor, Martha, she's 72 and swore she'd never touch fish, started adding grilled salmon to her dinners twice a week. Within a month, she told me her joints felt less achy, and she finally had the energy to keep up with her grandkids. But here's the key, you don't need to eat fish every day. Even adding it once or twice a week can make a difference. And if you're worried about the cost, canned salmon is just as nutritious as fresh, and it's perfect for tossing into salads or making patties. Now, onto food number 2, fortified dairy or plant-based milk. This one's a game changer, especially if you're not a fish fan. Many brands fortify their milk with vitamin D, and it's an easy swap for your morning cereal or coffee. Let's say you start your day with a bowl of oatmeal, just swap the water for fortified almond or oat milk, and boom, you've already given your vitamin D levels a little boost. But here's a pro tip. Check the label. Look for vitamin D3, specifically it's the same form your body makes from sunlight, so it's easier to absorb. And if you're lactose intolerant? No problem. Fortified plant-based milks work just as well. Now, before we move on, I want to pause here. Because changing habits can feel overwhelming, right? You might be thinking, do I really need to overhaul my entire diet? Absolutely not. Start small. Maybe this week, try adding salmon to one meal or switch your regular milk for a fortified version. Tiny steps add up and your body will thank you. Speaking of steps, let's talk about why these 2 foods are just the beginning. Because there's another vitamin D hero hiding in plain sight, one that's probably sitting in your pantry right now. It's affordable, versatile, and pairs perfectly with toast. Alright friends, let's pick up right where we left off. Remember that pantry hero I mentioned? Well, here it is, egg yolks. Now, I know eggs get a bad rap sometimes. For years, we've been told to avoid them because of cholesterol, but here's the good news. Recent studies show that for most of us, enjoying an egg or 2 a day isn't just safe, it's smart. Those golden yolks are one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, and they're packed with protein to keep you feeling full and energized. Take my buddy Frank, for example. He's 68 and used to skip eggs entirely, worried about his heart. But his doctor told him to give them another shot, so he started adding a scrambled egg to his breakfast a few times a week. Guess what? His vitamin D levels improved, and he noticed his muscles felt stronger during his morning walks. Plus, he said it's made his omelets a lot more interesting. Now here's the trick, don't toss those yolks. That's where the vitamin D lives. And if you're worried about cholesterol, pair your eggs with some veggies, spinach, peppers, a little avocado. It's all about balance. But maybe you're thinking, I don't like eggs, or maybe you're vegan. No problem. Let's talk about food number 4, mushrooms. And not just any mushrooms. Certain varieties like maitake or portobello can actually produce vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, just like we do. Ever left a mushroom sitting on the counter and noticed it gets a little darker? That's it soaking up light and working its magic. Here's a fun tip. Next time you buy mushrooms, place them on a windowsill for about 30 minutes before cooking. It boosts their vitamin D content even more. Then slice them up, sauté them with garlic and toss them into a stir-fry, soup or even a hearty salad. My friend Gloria, she's 75 and a total foodie, calls them her secret weapon. She adds them to her pasta sauces and her grandkids never even notice. But wait, there's a catch. Not all mushrooms are created equal. Most grocery store mushrooms are grown in the dark, so they won't have much vitamin D unless the label says UV treated or sun exposed. Keep an eye out for those or ask your local farmer's market vendor. It's a small step that makes a big difference. Now let's take a breath. How are you feeling so far? Overwhelmed? Excited? Maybe a little of both? I get it. Change can feel like a lot, especially when it comes to food. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one thing. Maybe this week you'll try adding mushrooms to your soup, or treat yourself to a sunny-side-up egg on toast. Tiny shifts, big rewards. And speaking of rewards, let me tell you about the fifth food. This one's a crowd pleaser and I bet you've already got it in your fridge. It's creamy, versatile, and pairs perfectly with just about everything. In fact, it might just become your new favorite snack. Alright friends, let's talk about that fifth and final vitamin D powerhouse I teased earlier. Drumroll please. It's yogurt. But not just any yogurt. I'm talking about the fortified kind, where they've added an extra boost of vitamin D to keep you feeling strong. Now, I know yogurt might seem like a boring breakfast staple, but stick with me. This creamy treat isn't just good for your bones, it's a multitasker. It's packed with probiotics for gut health, protein for muscle strength, and if you pick the right brand, it's swimming in that sunshine vitamin we've been raving about. Take my cousin Edna, for instance. She's 78 and used to skip breakfast altogether, said she wasn't hungry in the mornings. But her doctor warned her she was missing out on key nutrients. So, she started having a small bowl of fortified Greek yogurt with berries and a drizzle of honey. Within weeks, she told me her digestion improved, and she finally had the energy to restart her morning walks. Now, she jokes that yogurt's her fountain of youth, and she even adds a spoonful to her smoothies for extra creaminess. Here's the trick. Always check the label. Look for fortified with vitamin D right on the front. And if dairy doesn't agree with you, no worries. Many plant-based yogurts like almond or coconut are fortified too. Pair it with some sliced almonds or a handful of fortified cereal, and you've got a snack that's doing double duty for your health. Now let's take a step back. We've covered 5 simple, tasty foods to help you reclaim your vitamin D levels. Fatty fish, fortified milk, egg yolks, sun-kissed mushrooms, and that trusty tub of yogurt. But here's what I really want you to remember. You don't need to overhaul your life. Start with one of these foods this week. Maybe swap your usual toast for scrambled eggs, or add mushrooms to your soup. Small changes stick and they add up faster than you think. I know aging can sometimes feel like a game of catch-up. Your body changes, your needs shift, and it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Every bite you take is a chance to take back control. Whether it's a salmon dinner with family or a yogurt parfait on the porch, you're investing in a stronger, brighter version of yourself. So, I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods? Maybe you've got a killer salmon recipe or a mushroom tip I haven't heard yet. Drop a comment below, let's learn from each other. And if this video sparked even one idea for you, hit that like button and subscribe. We're here to make aging feel less like a challenge and more like an adventure. Remember, friends, you've spent decades nurturing others. Now's the time to nurture you. Here's to strong bones, steady energy, and a life that keeps getting richer one delicious bite at a time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, stay vibrant.